2, and here we are. Ready?
Yes.
Yes, thanks.
So good morning, everybody. Welcome to New York.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Blakely Hotel.
Thank you.
And welcome to the wedding of Nachum and Steve Huff, or Hof.
Yes, thank you.
All of you look terrific.
Thank you.
My name is Christopher Shelley. I am a New York State wedding officiant and a life cycle celebrant, which just means that when something needs to be celebrated, people call me. It is an honor and a privilege for all of you to watch me do this ceremony. Now, I met Nachum and Steve last year when I married their friends, Elliot Kramer and Bill Modrak, and it's my pleasure to be here today. And if all of you can make sure your phones are off so we don't get any phone calls during the ceremony. So welcome, Debbie, Ralph, and Nicole. Nachum and Steve are thrilled that the three of you could be here with us today. It is so important to mark these happy transitions in our lives, and for them to be able to do so in front of three people who mean the world to them is truly a blessing. Now, Ralph, I understand that your parents have been friends with Nachum and Steve for as long as they've been together. And Debbie, they tell me that they walked you down the aisle years and years ago. It's wonderful. And Nicole, they could not be happier to be your godparents. So it's only fitting that all three of you are here with them today, and I feel lucky myself to have been asked to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now I have a love story for you. The love story of Nachum and Steve. A wise woman once said, "If you like what you see, put a ring on it." She may also have added, "But don't rush. Take your time, years if necessary, 40 years if possible, for weddings that take place upon the day of a couple's 40th anniversary tend to be the best, most joyous weddings of all. Today marks the 40th year that Nachum and Steve Huff have been together. 40 years. Now take a moment to let that span of time sink in. Some of us here in the room are not even 40 years old. And it may be difficult to imagine 40 years. It may even be difficult for Nachum and Steve to imagine that span of time. The truth is that those years would not be possible without an intense, passionate, and tireless focus on each day, on each moment. It is also true that these two gentlemen have been together since the night they met on December 11, 1973. According to Nachum, they just clicked right away. Steve, he says, was just my type. He wore glasses, had great hair, he was cute and sexy. Steve says that one might assume that being together for 40 years may take surprise and passion out of the relationship, but I'm happy to say that that is not so. After all this time, we still push each other's buttons. It is impossible to ignore what the other is doing or feeling, and very happily, we still experience immense passion for each other. My favorite detail about Nachum and Steve has to do with their decision to work together 35 years ago. Now, Nachum, forgive me if I don't get the story exactly right, but I think it went like this. Nachum needed an assistant, someone to work with him at his interior design company. Steve offered, "How about me?" And they discussed this and talked about how maybe that might be too much for their relationship to both work together and live together, and which is a perfectly understandable hesitation, but so they decided not to work together. Now, anyone who has run their own business can attest that there is no such thing as a typical 9-to-5 schedule for entrepreneurs. So Nachum would end up working late, and Steve would be home hoping to have dinner with him, and night after night he'd eat alone, and Nachum would get home late, and they decided after a while that that schedule stunk. So they weren't spending nearly as much time together as they'd like, so they tried working together, and it worked. They got to spend all kinds of time together. When it was time to stop for the day and go have dinner, they'd stop for the day and go have dinner, no problem. Being together was all they ever wanted, and that's what they've got. The philosopher and toga enthusiast named Plato wrote that when one of us meets our other half, we are lost in an amazement of love and friendship and intimacy, and would not be out of the other's sight even for a moment. We pass our whole lives together, desiring that we should be melted into one, to spend our lives as one person instead of two, and so that after our death there will be one departed soul instead of two. This is the very expression of our ancient need, and the reason is that human nature was originally one, and we were a whole. and the desire and pursuit of the whole is called love. Steve says that Nachum is a man who approaches all of his personal relationships with a sense of tikkun olam. Am I pronouncing that right?
Tikkun olam.
Tikkun olam, or healing the world. He does so with an unwavering vision of doing the right thing and seeing his commitments through to their best possible conclusions. He also said that they know each other so well they may just know each other better than they know themselves. And Nachum, I sense that you know that Steve has a similar sense of tikkun olam. Both of you are seeing your commitment to each other through to its best conclusion. But this is only the conclusion of your lives before being married. Today marks the beginning of your married life. And this brings us to this special day in your lives, when you get to stand before the people who are most important to you and cross a threshold into the glamorous, ritzy, adventurous, star-studded, and fabulous world of marriage. You've been living the married life for many years, but today we get to make it legal and official. So, Steve and Nachum, I have a few questions for you.
Yes.
Nachum, do you promise to be Steve's faithful husband, to love him and honor him, to encourage him and help him, to treat him as your best friend and your most cherished companion for as long as you both shall live? If so, say I do.
I do.
Do you promise to be yourself with him at all times, to be honest with him, to listen to him, to share with him your deepest thoughts and feelings, to be his confidant and champion, his teammate, dinner date, and soulmate?
Yes, I do.
For Steve's family, do you promise to be the best in-law you can be?
Yes, I do.
Steve, do you promise to be Nachum's faithful husband, to love him and honor him, to encourage him and help him, to treat him as your best friend and your most cherished companion for as long as you both shall live? If so, say I do.
I do.
Do you promise to be yourself with him at all times, to be honest with him, to listen to him, to share with him your deepest thoughts and feelings, to be his confidant and champion, and to be his teammate, dinner date, and soulmate?
I do.
For Nachum's family, do you promise to be the best in-law you can be?
I do.
Now, you've told me that both of you would like to share some personal thoughts to each other. I invite you to do that now. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, great.
I love you. And the other thing I wanted to say, because he brought it up, is like in Kabbalah, you know, it says that when God created the soul, he spirited it too, and then sent it down to earth. And the lucky one find the other half. And this is the way I feel about you. And I would like to borrow something from Nicole, who said that you complete my heart.
Thank you. And to you, when we met on December 11, 1973,
You remember?
I do, I actually do. I never imagined, I couldn't imagine that we would be standing here together on our wedding day. So for these past 40 years, you have been my wise mentor, my loyal partner, my passionate lover. And you and our relationship give peace and contentment to my soul, and you fill my heart with happiness. So on that night we met, it was love, for me it was love at first sight. And as we stand here together today on our wedding day, I love you just as much. And now that you've put cufflinks and about to put a ring on it, I can promise that I will love you always. So thank you for making my life complete.
Same. Same. Feel the same.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Wedding rings are a symbol of commitment and love. Hold on.
She's the mother, she can yell.
The rings are circular, like their love, with no beginning and no end. They represent what has been and what will always be. They are made of solid, sturdy material, which is meant to survive years and years of hand-holding, high-fiving, interior design work, and tender caresses. Couples wear their wedding rings every day as a symbol of their love and to make all of their single friends jealous. Now, I understand that we have a ring bearer today named Nicole. Nicole, please bring up the rings. You can give Nachum his ring to give to Steve. So So Nachum, if you could take the ring and put it on the tip of...
This is yours.
No.
This is yours. Okay.
You take the ring and put it on the tip of Steve's ring finger and repeat after me.
I'm ready.
Okay. You ready? Put it on the tip of his ring finger and repeat after me. Steve,
Steve,
you know I love you.
you know I love you.
My heart is in this ring.
My heart is in this ring.
My love is in this ring.
My love is in this ring.
I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a symbol of my love.
as a symbol of my love.
I promise to be your faithful husband,
I promise to be your faithful husband.
to love you when the sun shines
To love you when the sunshine is
and when the rain
shining,
falls.
and when the rain falls. And the rain falls.
In,
It's
sick-
my first.
in sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
When you look at this ring,
When you look at this ring,
think of me
think of me
and remember that I love you always.
and remember that I love you always.
Slide the ring onto his finger. Beautiful. Steve, it's right. Please place the ring in the tip of Nachum's ring finger and repeat after me. Nachum,
Nachum,
thank you for my beautiful ring.
thank you for my beautiful ring.
I love you too.
I love you too.
My heart is in this ring.
My heart is in this ring.
My love is in this ring.
My love is in this ring.
I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a symbol of my love.
as a symbol of my love.
I promise to be your faithful husband,
I promise to be your faithful husband,
to love you through the best and the worst,
to love you through the best and the worst,
through the difficult and the easy.
through the difficult and the easy.
When you look at this ring,
When you look at this ring,
think of me
think of me
and remember that I love you always.
and remember that I love you always.
Slide the ring onto Nachum's finger. Nachum and Steve, please face each other and hold hands.
Did it get tighter?
Please hold each other's hands and feel what a gift they are to you. These are the hands of your best friend, strong and full of love for you, holding yours on your wedding day as you promise to love each other